streak is over after 22 consecutive road losses. The Kentucky Wildcats are flying home winners to Lexington.
Tonight on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime, Saturday night.
As I always say, you can't talk your way around wins. You just got to get better.
Almost 3 decades of straight losing to Florida.
I can't speak to that, to the 28 years. I could only speak to the years that I've been here.
See if the football Cats could stay undefeated and go 3-0 with the win over the Gators. Plus,
go and play. Play your game, do what you're coached to do, and have fun.
We'll take a look back at week 4 of the high school football season. And our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week crew goes to Morehead State.
Steam, Harden has the first down, he's still on his feet.
Those highlights and a lot more. Are you ready?
They blew it up! Oh my goodness!
We're ready. Let's start the show.
Patrick Krause, Morehead State, number 66. That Sports Overtime starts now.
T-shirt off you and put your Wildcat t-shirt on. Do you want mine?
Hey, the only number that matters is 28.
Who?
28.
Okay.
18.
Well, Stanley Boone Williams' father was kind of jacked up for tonight's game between Kentucky and Florida, to say the least.
Yes, is his name Mr. Boone Williams?
Mr. Boone, I think so. I think that is what they call him at least. I love his outfit. He's always bringing the energy to Commonwealth State. You gotta love it. He was down in South Carolina last week as well, so he travels.
He travels.
Loves his son. Well, welcome into the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Jamie McCracken alongside, as always, Lauren Kay.
Yes, Kentucky trying to end a 28-game losing streak to the Gators with a win and are halfway to being bowl eligible. Last time Kentucky beat Florida was 1986, and we were not born.
Yeah, last year's triple overtime loss, not very good. And by the way, 1986, guess who was born?
Who?
Rapper Drake. You know what's coming, right? Cats started from the bottom. Now they're here. Let's do it. Kentucky, Florida tonight under the lights. I know you like that.
So bad.
Let's go to Commonwealth Stadium. Kentucky and Florida. First quarter, no score. Patrick Tolles on a 1st and 10. Dorian Baker, the sophomore.
My bad, bro. Hit you in the hands.
Seriously, take another look. You just can't come up with it. What happened?
One more.
That wasn't the best thrown ball, but it was in the breadbasket. 2 plays later, now 3rd and 10. Tolles, even worse. Pitt. Vernon Hargraves III. One of the best corners in the country, probably a first-round draft pick by a lot of people out there. Mo Kiper's got him up on the board. Gators work it down to the 2-yard line, and they're going for it on a 4th and goal, and Will Greer gets the start at quarterback, and he's going to beat the lineman to the pylon. Greer actually the leading rusher for Florida tonight. 12 carries, 61 yards. 7-0. Florida. Still first quarter, same score. Tolles to the air again. This one to Ryan Timmons, 20-yard first down. 4 plays later, Stanley Boom Williams. Daddy gonna like this one. Another first down on a 3rd and long. Boom, 16 carries for 80 yards, but Kentucky has to kick a field goal. Austin McGinnis out. They settle for a 29-yarder. 7-3, Florida still leads. Go second quarter. Big problem all night. Florida's offensive line was eaten. Insert spaghetti emoji here. And Brent Musburger said Harry Potter did not have a magic wand there for Patrick Tolles.
Greatest thing he could have ever said.
That was Jonathan Bullard with the sack there. 17 seconds left in the half. Check out the formation by Florida. They hurry up, get to the line, and then they got another touchdown. Kelvin Taylor. Florida up 14-3. Second half, 4th quarter. Tolles to the air. Jeff Badette. I got it. Speedster. Got him. 45 yards on the hookup. Another look at this one. Tolles, 8 of 24, just 126 yards on the night, but that's a nice one right there. Second half, 4th quarter. Tolles to the air. Oh, no. That was Kentucky settles for another field goal. Fast forward 2 minutes ago. Yeah, Tolles again, sacked by that guy again. Later, a few plays later, 45 seconds to go, 4th and 27. Last chance for Kentucky. Another interception by Patrick Tolles. Go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. I told you the stats earlier. Tolles 8 of 24, just 126 yards. Absolutely no touchdowns for Kentucky tonight. Their 9 points comes off 3 field goals, and you see a 29th straight loss to Florida tonight. Kentucky loses 14-9. They fall to 2-1 on the year. Florida now 3-0. Kentucky will play Missouri next week. Here's head coach Mark Stoops after the game.
To the game, we had great support. I thank the fans again. It was a great environment. Leading up to the game and catwalk and seeing the stadium filled was incredible. And we need to play better to get them into it. And that would have been a great start. It didn't happen.
Mark, you mentioned a couple defensive miscues, but when you give up 14 points and 240 yards, do you expect to win that football game?
Sure you do, but you never know how it's going to play out. And, we talk about it all the time. You could play a very good football game on both sides, and if you don't play a situation right, you lose. And turnovers are critical. There was very few in the game, really. I don't count the last one that Patrick threw. I can't hold that one against him. He had to throw it up and give somebody a shot. But the one interception was critical, and I was pleased with the defensive effort. Really did. I felt like the guys played hard. They prepared the right way. It's the urgency of the communication a lot on both sides of the ball, and that's what I talk about in practice a lot, and just every, the preparing yourself to play well. That miscommunication on the third down that set up the 4th and short, that'll bother me. And, we got to get some things switched or fixed up. But I was proud of thought we had a good plan, and guys played hard and put ourselves in a position to win the game. And offensively the same thing. I mean, it's a lot to do with momentum and just like we talked about that missed opportunity early, set us back, and then we put the interception behind it and really played tentative the rest of the night.
Mark, talk about the struggle the offensive line had in keeping Patrick protected, keeping him upright.
Yeah. I mean, there were some issues. We knew that going into the game, and watching them rush, and we had. We can't afford to take those negative plays and get behind the chains, just like we saw last week with our own penalties, but this week with sacks or negative yardage plays, run the ball or getting sacked. To get behind the chains, we're in a world of hurt against a good football team, and so we can't do that. We got to be a little bit smarter in how we protect and take our shots. We did that. We hit the one late. We couldn't get it in the end zone.
But that third goal at the 5 looked like that might have been there. Like the throw was just a little high. Is that?
Yeah, another missed opportunity. We had every shot to convert that, and I felt like it was a little high. Yeah. Felt like even down to the second to our last possession when we had the 3rd and 13, we had a little slant right there open. Open. I mean, you got a great corner on you in Hargraves, but we got a big wide out that we need to put it right in his chest and give him an opportunity to come down with it. And we just missed some.
How do you assess Patrick through 3 games? How he's?
Oh, we'll get back. I don't want to comment on that right now. Patrick's done some very good things. I'm not going to sit here and throw him under the bus. Yeah, we need to play better all around. And there were some drops out there. There were some protection issues like you talked about. There's enough blame to go around. It's not all on Patrick by any means. Just like the wins aren't, and he's doing some good things. Sure, I think he'd be the first one to tell you, and myself and Coach Dawson that we need to improve, and he'll be held accountable to his mistakes, just like the rest of our team.
Mark, there's been a lot of talk about the improved wide receiver play. How do you think that unit did tonight against Florida?
Just first thought, again, I don't want to throw any unit under the bus. I mean, but, I felt like certainly we could play better than that.
Is there anything in particular that Florida was doing in the pass rush that was giving you so much trouble?
No, they're big, athletic guys, disruptive guys. We watched it. I watched some tape on them, and I saw some spots where I saw all 4 guys win one-on-ones, and that caught my attention early in the week. When all 4 of your guys are winning in one-on-one pass rush situations, they can rush.
What they have on the back end too is hard to simulate.
It is. I mean, they're good. They've been for years now, and they have good cover guys. Those cover guys are, with Vernon back in this game, and those guys have been around for a while. The majority of those guys in the back end, they've seen a lot of football, and they're good cover guys, and again, they were active up front. And we always, we give them credit because they deserve it, but we need to play better as well. We had some opportunities. It was a tight football game. It always comes down to a few plays. You just don't know what plays are going to make the difference, and they made more than we did.
Mark, your defense did an excellent job in my viewpoint, giving the offense every opportunity it needed. To speak to that.
Yeah, again, I was proud of the overall effort. I really was. I felt like the guys were in good position, and that's what I look for of how we play, all the situations. And I felt like that Coach Elliott really had the guys prepared to make plays. Again, when we're out there, we can tell whether things are giving us issues or not. We know there's matchup problems, and you ain't ever going to just solve it all the time. But we had a good plan. We had guys in position, and I was proud of their effort. And again, I just wish we could have made a few more.
Got time for a couple more.
Think about Greer's ability to extend play.
Well, I was really disappointed with our effort at times. Getting back to the first possession, I think it was when they had him in 4th and goal and had him sacked and didn't get him down. And then late in the game, we had a big negative yardage play there, and he gets away with it. And so you got to give him credit. He obviously has a nice knack for that, and getting more and more comfortable with more reps he's getting. We're just starting to see him play a lot. So it was good. It was impressive by him, and those are some things we need to do better.
Mark, you worry now about your team's confidence?
All right. Stoops there, sticking up for his QB1.
Yeah.
Good to see, saying there's enough blame to go all the way around, not just on one guy.
Yeah, especially when your offensive line doesn't play well. I mean,
yeah.
Tulsa was sacked 6 times tonight, and all 6 times were basically huge losses. There wasn't no gimme sacks. They were big losses. So you see the full screen next up for the football Cats. Again, 2-1 on the season is Missouri. The 22nd ranked Tigers come to Lexington next Saturday. Another SEC Network game.
Another SEC Network game. Another 7:30 kickoff. We'll have highlights of Missouri's game tonight, later on tonight, against Connecticut a little later in the show. I thought you wrote that like we were about to show the Missouri-Kentucky highlights. It's like, whoa, that is Harry Potter stuff right there. The Tigers barely beat Connecticut with 9 points, but they do win and are 3-0 on the season.
Yeah, those highlights are so wild. I mean, you have to stay tuned for those.
Next on the show, our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week takes us to Moorhead.
We'll definitely have highlights of the Moorhead State Eagles. The Eagles hosting Kentucky Christian, both teams 0-2, so someone gets win number 1 of the season.
Hafer out of the shotgun. Hands off to Harden, makes a man miss in the backfield, now gets ahead of steam. Harden has the first down, he's still on his feet.
We'll have highlights next. Tonight, another Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week, and it was in Moorhead.
Yes, the Eagles hosting Kentucky Christian, both teams 0-2 to start the year.
Yeah, interesting going into this game. The two have only met one other time. That was back in 2011 when now Moorhead State quarterbacks coach Zach Lewis lit him up for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. Whoa, Lewis, the former Clay County Tiger, led the Eagles to a 67-0 win in that one. Tonight, let's see what they can do. The drive started in the first quarter, and that's Austin Gehafer into the end zone. And that sets up our Autos Falls drive of the night. It started in the first half with a big run. And then we go to the second quarter. They run another play for Holman on the first play. Holman goes 30 yards this time. Big gain. And then Ryan Watkins, they give it to him on the next play, putting the Eagles even closer. And then on the very next play, as you saw, Gehafer, Austin Gehafer, the quarterback keeper. He's in. That was 7-0 Moorhead State, but that's all the scoring the Eagles got in the first half. They led 7-0 at the break.
More enthusiasm. We never really got into a rhythm, and that's probably our worst half of football we've played, and it's disappointing.
All right, Rob Tinger wanting his team to play with some more energy in the second half. Second half, still 7-0. Gehafer to Austin Napier. Second touchdown of the year for him. Second touchdown of the night for Moorhead State. 14-0. Now 21-0 Eagles in the fourth quarter. Under 5 minutes to go. Gehafer to Gatero Lewis. That was beautiful. Another look. Morehead State shuts out Kentucky Christian. As we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, Eagles win 28-0. First win of the season for Morehead State.
UVA-Wise hosting number 20 Shepherd, the Rams. Let's pick it up late first half. Wise leading 10-2. Rams driving, but Zach Blair sniffs out the play for the big loss on first down for Shepherd. You see right there, he wags that finger at the Shepherd bench.
Really?
Well, this gets awkward because a few plays later, they find the end zone and get the 2-point conversion, and then all of a sudden, it's a tie game, 10-all.
Who's doing the finger wagging now?
And it doesn't get much better for the Cavaliers. Third quarter now, trying to get a drive together, but Daniel Lewis's pass gets picked off over the middle by the Rams. Lewis was 13 of 31 for 183 yards, 1 touchdown, and that interception. Probably starting to regret that finger wag at this point. Shepherd pours it on in the second half, another touchdown here. The Cavs scored the first 10 points, and then as we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, you will see that's all they put together. Shepherd goes on 41 unanswered points, and the number 20 Rams get the win at Carl Smith Stadium.
So much finger wagging. Night game in Barberville. Union looking for win number 1 on the season, taking on Campbellsville, and it was Tigers early, up 20-9 in the second quarter. Jacob Russell delivers it, and that's Chance Goodman. All good, 27-9, Campbellsville. Later in the second quarter, Russell over the top this time to Tyus Alcorn, diving for the pylon. Yeah, that's touchdown. Yeah, that's good. Ref says you're good. Campbellsville leads 34-9, but then it was Union driving down the field. Chandler Whittlesey, he can't find anyone open, so he just dumps it off to LaVance Anderson. First down. A couple plays later, Zach Martin on the handoff. He's in. Oh no! He loses the football. 34-16 Campbellsville in the fourth quarter. Union in the red zone again. Chandler Whittlesey, QB draw, that's good. A 2-possession game, 37-23, but Campbellsville would seal it. Whittlesey picked off that time in the red zone, and Campbellsville wins it 37-23.
We got a really young team, and we just can't put 2 halves together, really 2 quarters together right now. And we're close, but we're not there yet. We got a lot of work to do. It goes back to fundamentals, tackling, blocking, not turning the ball over in critical situations. You know, we had a chance there late to pull within 7 points inside the 10-yard line, throw an interception. We can't have that. And that's just one of many things, but we're just not very good right now. We're really young, and we just got a lot of work to do.
All right, the 2-0 Western Kentucky Hilltoppers going on the road to take on the 2-0 Indiana Hoosiers. My dad's a Hoosier, did you know that?
Yeah.
First quarter, no score, Western punting. Mitchell Page on the return.
Didn't your dad play baseball too?
Yes, he was a catcher.
Was
he
he
finds
as
a hole.
fast as this guy?
He was not that fast. Goes untouched, 91 yards for the touchdown, and just like that, Indiana up 7-0 on my Hilltoppers. WKU up 14-7 here now. Nate Stuttlefield right there in the end zone for an 18-yard touchdown strike. The game's tied at 14.
Wide open.
WKU with the quick answer, though. 20 seconds later, Brandon Dowdy hits Tyler Higbee in the end zone for the 15-yard touchdown pass. Tops on top, easy to say, 21-14. 3 minutes later, more from the Tops. Dowdy going back to the air. This time it's deep to Tywan Taylor. 75 yards for the touchdown. Tops up 28-17 at the half. But we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Indiana comes back in the second half, hands WKU its first loss on the season. 38-35. Home opener for the University of the Cumberlands, and whoever had the ball in this one when time ran out won the game. 49-41 the final score. Patriots improved to 2-1, and staying in the Mid-South, the U-Pike Bears hit the road to Tennessee to take on Bethel. They get the 22-0 win, the Bears' first shutout since 2004.
You were pumping your fist during that WKU.
Because I just get so excited.
They didn't even win.
I know.
Guess who else didn't win? Your other team, Louisville. They're 0-3 for the first time since 1984. The Cards lose at home Thursday night to these guys, the 11th ranked Clemson Tigers. Quarterback Kyle Bowling, you see him right there. He was 19 of 34 for 238 yards, but no touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, though, and that being said, head coach Bobby Petrino knows he's got all kinds of probs on offense. Louisville put up just 272 yards of total offense.
It wasn't, he wasn't as good as we need, but obviously it's not just the quarterback. You got to help the quarterback by being able to run the ball. You got to help the quarterback by having better protection. being more precise on our routes. Even though we are getting some production from young receivers, at times they're not where they need to be on time with their routes. So we still have a whole lot of work to do offensively. There's no question about that.
Still to come on the show, we flash back to the 90s for our Sports Overtime Rewind piece this week.
Yes, plus then we won't look back that far. We'll just look back at week 4 of the high school football season. See the best of the best as the teams will start district play as early as next week.
Hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Let's go around the Southeastern Conference now. Lauren, Missouri coming into today's game with the Connecticut Huskies as a 21-point favorite.
Yes, the Tigers are 19-1 against unranked teams in the last 3 seasons. The fact that they're playing 20 unranked teams in 3 seasons, kind of ridiculous. Maddie Mock ready to go for the Tigers. Nice flowing locks of Maddie Mock. First quarter, no score. Clarence Green blocks the punt in the end zone for a safety. Missouri up 2-0. Is this the beginning of some riveting highlights? Later. Same score. Ron Johnson from 6 yards out. UConn is on top of Missouri 6-3. Keep in mind the Huskies are 2-22 all-time versus top 25 opponents. So it's 6-2 in the fourth quarter.
Soccer.
And finally, Maddie Mock into the end zone for Mizzou. A 15-play, 68-yard drive that eats up 6.5 minutes. 52 seconds to go in the game. 9-6 Missouri leads. UConn lining up for a kick field goal, but it's fake. And Anthony Sherrill says, uh-oh, picked off, return for 50 yards. Ball game, Missouri. Which one will come to Lexington? Which team will show up in Lexington next week? Because this one barely won 9-6.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, my gosh. Let's go to Death Valley. Top 20 matchup, LSU, Auburn. If it wasn't a sign for what's to come for Auburn, I don't know what is. IDK. That's how you work the highlight.
That is exactly how I wrote that.
IDK, are you texting highlights?
Yes.
This is
He's
Leonard.
still running.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Leonard Fournette, 71 yards. First and goal on the first drive of the game, and then a few plays later, Brandon Harris be like, I got it. He finished with 2 rushing touchdowns on the night. Fournette, though, he was a beast. Get off me. Get off me. 40-yard run for 6, 24-0 LSU.
This one's my bread and butter.
Fournette, he not done. That guy was like jumping into the ball pit at McDonald's on him. Goodness. Leonard Fournette, 29-yard touchdown there. He had 3 touchdowns on the night. Give him 228 yards total on 19 carries. And LSU pounces on Auburn, 45-21. Watch it again. Get off me.
Tackling high and everything. Georgia, South Carolina getting together in Athens. Bulldogs ranked 7th early second quarter, tied up at 3. Nick Chubb powers his way in from 2 yards out. Take another look here. Just sheer power muscling his way in there. 10-3 Georgia. Bulldogs driving again, and it's Sony Michel bursts through the left side, races 21 yards for another Georgia score. 17-3 the Bulldogs. Just before halftime, Gamecocks in the red zone. Perry Orth, the keeper, in the race to the pylon. From 4 yards out, he got in. South Carolina hanging around in the first half, and that's really all they could do. Georgia comes out in the second half and blows the Gamecocks out of the water, 52-20.
Dan Mullen, Dak Prescott. Mississippi State taking on Northwestern State. First quarter, no score. Prescott to Gabe Miles. 49 yards on the hookup, 6-0 Bulldogs. I think he tried to do the whip there, but it didn't go so well.
Because he didn't finish with the nay-nay.
Nay-nay. Same score, 17-yard run there by Ashton Schumpert. Dogs increase their lead up to 13-0. Second quarter now, 20-3 Prescott to Donald Gray. Pass interference, but it doesn't matter. IDK, I don't know.
So much laundry on the field right now.
Yeah. Shot sheet says Prescott was 10 of 11 for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's real efficient. Mississippi State puts up 647 yards total offense, wins 62-13. Yes.
Check out some scores from around the SEC. Texas A&M puts up 40 in a home win over Nevada, 44-27 the final. And Vanderbilt gets a 40-point victory over Austin Peay in Nashville, 47-7. Tennessee improves to 2-1 with a 55-10 win over Western Carolina. And look at this, Jamie. Arkansas loses at home to Texas Tech, 35-24. The Razorbacks drop 2 straight, falling to 1-2 on the season. They said the Texas Tech fans were at Arkansas chanting SEC, SEC. Mocking them a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
I would.
They started the season like ranked 17th, and they've lost 2 in a row now.
Oh, how they fall from grace.
Yeah.
Coming up later on the show, we'll take a look at Week 2 in the National Football League.
IDC, I don't care. Packers, Titans, Bengals, Chargers, they all won in Week 1. Hear from some of the players and coaches like Marvin Lewis.
You know, it's going to be a day where we got to do a great job on defense.
Yeah, pretty much. More from Lewis as the Bengals prepare to go or to play the San Diego Chargers this weekend.
Belfry improves to 3-0. Leslie County is 4-0. The Johnson Central Golden Eagles shut out Harlan County and Paintsville. And the Phelps Hornets get in the end zone for the first time this season. Check all that out in the Week 4 recap in this week's Lee's Famous Recipe Hazard and Whitesburg 2-minute drill.
The high school football season continues to move along as Week 4's chapter is complete. The battle for Pike County going on Friday night out in Pond Creek. Number 2 Belfry and number 10 Pikeville meeting up. The Panthers put together a solid opening drive, capped off by a Derek Hugh touchdown and 2-point conversion. But the Pirates would go on and score 34 unanswered points and get the redemption win and remain undefeated. Number 3 Johnson Central improves to 3-0 on the season with a shutout victory over Harlan County in our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. The Leslie County Eagles are off to a 4-0 start. They traveled to London to take on 5A South Laurel and won it 33-13. Mike Holcomb returned to Breathitt County, and the head man of the Letcher Central Cougars left Jackson with a 63-35 win over the Bobcats. 2 second-year head coaches of their respective programs squared off in Corbin. Justin Haddix and Larry French, the Red Hounds, won it last year, but the Warriors edge out Corbin 14-10. The Allen Central Rebels are 3-1. They welcomed in rival South Floyd to Eastern and get the 38-12 win. How about the Phelps Hornets playing their home games at Johns Creek until their new field is finished? And it only took till Week 4, but the Hornets find the end zone for the first time in the 2015 season. They did not, however, get the win. After a close one last week against Somerset, the Hazard Bulldogs go on the road and get another close win, 34-32 over Prestonsburg. And finally, the Knott Central Patriots improved to 3-1 in a high-scoring one over Betsy Lane, 44-40. Let's do it all again next week. This has been the Lee's Famous Recipe Hazard in Whitesburg 2-minute drill.
All right, let's check out the big game board. Our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week next week takes us to Prestonsburg. The Black Cats and Shelby Valley meet in a rematch of last season's region final. A few teams also opening up district play. Johnson Central meets up with Boyd County. Knott Central brings in Breathitt County to Hindman. Betsy Lane goes on the road to undefeated Leslie County. And Paintsville with a tough home game, not a district game, but still tough against Bourbon County in a 5A District 8 matchup between 2 future high school football Hall of Famers Mike Holcomb and Letcher County host Tom Larkey and the Perry Central Commodores.
It'll be interesting to see if Paintsville remains undefeated. Hey, last night the Lynn Camp Wildcats rocking these badge number 954 stickers with a blue line behind it on the sticker in honor of Joseph Ponder, the state trooper who was killed on the job. Coach Alan Harris wanted his guys to understand the sacrifice Ponder made and realize that there are heroes among all of us, and they're wearing the badges.
It's just important to me that we recognize our heroes in our community, and it's important that I show our players that that police officers' lives matter, and you know he's a hero, and he needs to be shown as a hero.
By the way, the Wildcats won last night 45-6 over the Jenkins Cavaliers. Lynn Camp now 4-1 on the year. Best start since 2005 for the Cats. That year they reached the second round of the playoffs, finishing 9-3. So good stuff there by Lynn Camp. Next on next, Sports Overtime Rewind, Episode 2 takes us down to Middlesboro.
Yes, plus a little later we'll announce our Play of the Week.
All right, thank you for sticking with us tonight and staying up. Last week, we started this new segment called Sports Overtime Rewind, thanks to Lauren Cash, who came up with the segment. And in this next edition, Sports Director Josh McKinney takes a look at the Middlesboro Yellow Jackets.
Yes, they made several state championship runs in the 90s, but they never could get over the hump. Until that one time, they finally did.
From 1994 to 2000, the Middlesboro Yellow Jackets won at least 9 games every season and recorded double-digit wins 4 times during that span. And while they got close to their goal of a state title several times, everything seemed to come together in 1998. We relived that magical season for the Middlesboro Yellow Jackets in tonight's Sports Overtime Rewind. It was November of 1997, and the Middlesboro Yellow Jackets had just had their perfect season ended in the Class A state semifinals by the top-ranked Beechwood Tigers. The loss only meant one thing. It was time to start preparing for 1998. While a lot was expected from the preseason third-ranked Yellow Jackets, few could have seen the explosion that was about to happen in Bell County. The season began with the drubbing of eventual state semifinalist Breathitt County 46-24, followed by a 52-0 blowout against much bigger North Laurel. County rival Bell County awaited Middlesboro in the season's third week, and while the pride of the Yellow Jackets may have been damaged at least within the county lines, the 21 points scored by the Bobcats would be the third most allowed by the Middlesboro defense over its next 12 games. And the loss would be the last one. District 1 proved to be no contest as the Jackets won their 6 district games by an average of 46.5 points, including shutouts of 57, 58, and 65-0. But still, despite an impressive regular season resume, the Yellow Jackets entered the playoffs ranked 3rd in Class A, behind Mayfield and defending state champion Beechwood. If anyone thought the playoffs would be a more difficult path to navigate, they were sorely mistaken. Opening round game was at home against South Floyd. The Raiders provided little competition. Middlesboro won 49-8. Then the Yellow Jackets welcomed in the Hazard Bulldogs for a second-round matchup. The game was only a few points closer than the previous week. 50-12 Middlesboro. And then it was on the road for the region championship. Pikeville was 10-2 on the season and ranked just a few spots below the Yellow Jackets in the final poll at number 6. And while the Panthers would score more points on the Jacket defense than any team that season, the Middlesboro offense also had its highest point total. Final score, Middlesboro 78, Pikeville 34. Next up, Beechwood. This time around, unlike in '97, the top-ranked Tigers had to travel to Bell County for the state semis. But also, unlike the previous season, the result was different. Middlesboro's defense again showed why it was one of the better units in all of Kentucky, limiting the previously unbeaten Tigers to just 13 points in a 29-13 win. Middlesboro's trip to the state finals was its first in 23 seasons and just 4th overall. None of the previous 3 trips resulted in a championship, and if this one was to be the exception, the Yellow Jackets would need to beat Mayfield. Like Beechwood the week before, Mayfield also entered its game with Middlesboro undefeated, a perfect 14-0. The Cardinals were outscoring their opponents by an average of 30 points per game and had only allowed double-digit points twice all season. However, they had not seen a team like the Yellow Jackets. Middlesboro held Mayfield to just 211 total yards of offense, and its 20-0 halftime lead would be more than enough to bring home the program's first ever state championship. Middlesboro 27, Mayfield 6.
I'm just glad for the kids. That's what the game's about, and the fans are there supporting them, and I'm just tickled with it.
That championship is still the only one for the program, and it has only advanced to the state semifinals twice since that magical season. And while no one knows how long it will be until another trip is made to the state finals, the 23-year wait 17 years ago was well worth it for the Yellow Jackets. You heard from then head coach Ken Roark towards the end of that piece. Roark spent 17 of his 18-year coaching career at Middlesboro. He died in 2012 from a long battle with an illness. He had a career record of 154-72 and that one state championship in 1998.
My goodness, Josh, you just killed that.
Good.
Awesome, awesome. Good stuff from the boss man, as always. Well, this is a weekly segment where we look back at memorable moments in mountain sports history. That's why we call it Sports Overtime Rewind. And if you have any ideas or teams to spotlight, please feel free to send us some information. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at sportsrelease@wymt.com or tweet at sportsovertime.
That was really good.
That was really good.
All right, we'll close out the show next with the play of the week.
And a preview of Thursday Night Football right here on WYMT as the Redskins will travel to New York to take on the Giants.
Good job. Let's do our play of the week now, Lauren. Leonard Fournette. Big boy. This was LSU Auburn, a top 20 matchup down in Death Valley, and nobody's stopping Mr. Fournette.
Whoop!
That guy just, like I said, he's like jumping into the ball pit at McDonald's or something. Leonard Fournette give him 228 yards on the game, 19 carries. Let's watch it again. LSU all over Auburn, 45-21. Get off me, get off me, get off me. I'm into the end zone. Leonard Fournette, our play of the week. All right, welcome back. Week 2 in the National Football League. Already some wildness that went down on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, poor old Jamal Charles fumbled in a tie game with 30 seconds to go, and the Denver Broncos went on a scoop and score over the Kansas City Chiefs. That was my scoop and score, in case anybody was wondering. The Packers will host Kansas City in Monday Night Football next week, but this week they are on Sunday Night Football hosting the Seattle Seahawks, who have been to the last 2 Super Bowls. However, Seattle allowed 34 points and lost in Week 1. Here's former Kentucky Wildcat Randall Cobb on the matchup.
Well, I mean, they're still the same defense. They have the same scheme. They're still trying to do the same things. They don't have the players that they did with, with Cam Ben out and, Maxwell gone. Some things are changing. You can tell Williams still isn't comfortable. It doesn't seem like he's comfortable in the defense that they're playing and what he's trying to adapt to what they do. So, it is a little bit of a different team.
Cobb got a touchdown last week. Titans at Browns tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Talked about overreactions from Week 1. On one side, Cleveland fans going nuts after a 21-point loss to the Jets. On the other side, everyone raving about rookie quarterback Marcus Mariota. There you see him in Tennessee. Mariota threw for 4 first-half touchdowns in a win over Tampa Bay in Week 1. As always, the Hawaiians staying cool, calm, collected as he gets ready for the Browns.
Just try to do my best to execute whatever the coaches ask me. It's going to be, again, just taking it one play at a time and taking care of the football and, putting our offense in the best situation. Very athletic group, good cover guys. I think the safeties do a good job of coming in and run fitting. Again, I think that is, their defense is very, very good. We have to be prepared for, whatever they throw at us and try our best to execute.
Now to the Bengals, or as Chris Sims kept calling them last week, the Bengals. Cincinnati got its first win ever in Oakland last week. They're back on the East Coast for a date with the San Diego Chargers in the home opener tomorrow. They'll have to deal with quarterback Phillip Rivers, who signed a 4-year, $83 million contract extension right before the season. However, they'll do more than just throw the football tomorrow.
That when you say their name, Phillip Rivers, I think comes to everybody's mind, and he had a ball game like that last week where it shows how good he is. And, he's big in the pocket, great command of what they want to do offensively, both run and pass. They were pretty balanced last week, running the football 30 times, throwing it 42. So, it's going to be a day where we got to do a great job on defense.
All right, if you have a good tight end these days, Lauren, things are good for you. Guys like Gronk with the Patriots, Jason Witten of the Cowboys, and Tyler Eifert of the Bengals are virtually unguardable. We're seeing that a lot in the league now. Eifert had a couple of touchdowns for Cincinnati in Week 1, and that's a big focus for Mike McCoy's Chargers this week.
He's a good football player, and I think that you got to play your best against him because he'll go in there and pick you apart with the talented players they have, with the running game they have. So we got to go out there and play our best game. Yeah, a very talented, guy to be able to go down the field, stretch the field. You see him catch some balls downfield and be able to block in the run game. So we got to set the edge when he's trying to block us and not let him get going in the passing game.
Oh my goodness, it's my favorite graphic of the show, Thursday Night Football on WYMT. That's how we're closing it out. You like excitement? Well, last week you saw Jamal Charles fumble away the football and lose the game for the Chiefs. as the Broncos beat them in a wild fashion. This week, it's Redskins-Giants to actually be part of Week 3 in the National Football League. It's an NFC East battle, MetLife Stadium, 8:25 kickoff time. The Giants have won 4 straight over Washington. Again, this game on this channel. WYMT, watch it right here. You gotta love it. You have fun tonight?
Always.
Good.
It's time to go home.
All right. I'll be in Lexington next week, so you don't have to worry about that. You'll be with Boss Man. You happy for that?
Yeah, I mean, we like a change of pace, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was hoping. That's good.
A+ team never separates. Yeah. Is that what you wanted me to say?
I was just hoping you wouldn't diss me.
Never.
Okay. Like you said, you'll see her, Boss Man, next week, Kentucky, Missouri. Of course, we'll have much, much more in the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Union Cumberland's
yeah, Brass Lantern.
Brass Lantern, yeah. All right, enjoy your night. Hit that music.
Good night.